This video is a product buyer's guide intended for gift givers and adult collectors.
I know it's a little bit too much for sure. So cool, but we're always coming back for more. Egos in this wicked game, it's all for sure. Oh, I've got you. I'm a
Hey guys, welcome to Toy Chat. This is Max.
And Sang.
We'd like to thank MGA for gifting us this product for free. So, just kidding. That wasn't the final Rainbow High review, but the previous review of Sparkle and Shine will be linked below if you missed it. Yes, today we'll be reviewing a brand new Rainbow High doll, Iris Bow of the Creative Crystals series. This collection leaked online not too long ago, with collectors learning it would continue the brand's 2024 trend of focusing on imaginative play activities, this time incorporating UV resin accessories, which of course calls to mind MGA's super popular brand of resin miniatures, Miniverse. Creative Crystals is a collection that, in addition to this new character Iris, also includes new iterations of fan favorites Skylar Bradshaw, Violet Willow, Amaya Rain, and Bella Parker, making her second appearance as a non-junior since the brand's soft reboot. As we've thoroughly discussed in multiple prior videos, Rainbow High has undergone many changes this year and has undeniably found itself in a difficult position with longtime fans. Current Rainbow High social media posts are frequently flooded with requests to bring back wrist articulation, undo changes of the soft reboot, and revert focus back to what made the brand such a trailblazing smash hit in its earlier years. Can the Creative Crystals line, and this new character Iris in particular, win back the hearts of fans who haven't been feeling the soft reboot? We'll share our honest thoughts on that and cover everything else you need to know about this new doll in today's review, so keep on watching. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment of the adult collector perspective here on Toy Chat. With that, let's jump in.
The Creative Crystal dolls are available now on Amazon, and we expect them to roll out to other stores in upcoming weeks. Links to purchase them will be in the video description below. All the dolls in the series are priced at $24.99 each. We'll share Iris's barcode and Target DPCI number on screen here if you'd like to try to hunt her down in person. The Creative Crystal packaging is pretty similar to what we saw previously in the Make Slime dolls. Iris and her accessories are fully visible in the window display, with her name at the top left and Creative Crystal logo on the right. The bottom shows examples of the resin accessory play, and this series is marked for ages 8 and up, higher than usual recent dolls, we assume because of the resin. One side of the box lists Iris's name over a super glittery backdrop, while the other extends the window display and rainbow graphic. We can see a full body photo of the doll over the back of the box, and more information on the resin play. There are 5 resin accessories to create, and a ring for you to wear alongside the doll pieces. MJ also provided an art and information card to give us more background on the character. Iris is a fun and creative girl who loves spending time with her best friends, known as the original Shimmers. Her huge heart sometimes leads her into tricky situations. One of her favorite things to do is create art and experiment with Sparkle Glow to find new ways to explore Rainbow World. This likely ties into the resin play theme of this collection. Alright, let's open her up and check her out.
Here we have Iris Bow unboxed, and I do have to say her face is gorgeous in person. The back of her head is marked 2022, so this sculpt aligns with faces produced from that period. She has warm-toned eyes that teeter between hazel and a honey amber. Her vibrant eyeshadow is a definite highlight. It outlines the entirety of each eye in a full rainbow gradient, with a generous dusting of glitter throughout. Her glossy lips are lined in a dark brown and airbrushed with a rosy red across the center. This gives them a really lovely dimension, especially at certain angles. Iris has rainbow painted baby hairs across her hairline. The hair itself is thick and curly, with the rainbow section tied into 2 large knot buns on either side of her head. The rest falls loose behind her, and it's quite long, almost reaching her knees. Her hair's base color is a dark chocolate brunette, and the streaks come in every shade of the rainbow minus indigo. We can only see one shade of purple and one of blue. One thing we noticed is that this hair material felt a bit coarser than Rainbow High's usual ultra soft nylon, kind of similar to the Littles. It's definitely nicer than polypropylene, but we think this is a different hair material than the older dolls had. Sang touched it up with some softening spray, however, which did make it look and feel much nicer. The loose hair extending from her buns is tough to tidy up though. Overall, we would not recommend brushing through this unless you plan on a complete restyle.
Iris wears a puffy crop top that's similar to a jersey-style jacket, but it does have short sleeves. The white collar and sleeves are hemmed with a white fabric, topped off with a strip of metallic gold. The top itself is in a full rainbow gradient matching her hair, lined with translucent sequins. Orange threading lines the collar, and this opens in the back with Velcro. Her asymmetrical skirt reminds us a bit of a Maya Rain style. It's a white pleather with rainbow stitching detailing. The lower section has faux gold zipper detailing. The belt buckle decoration is a nice touch, but it's not a separate piece. This all opens with Velcro in the back. Her shoes are translucent rosy gold boots. There are 6 buckle details, painted in the same 6 color as her hair, and of course the brand's core 6 characters. There are sculpted zippers down the front, and the soles have a crystalline texture sculpt. Iris comes with a variety of accessories that incorporate resin. There's a pair of sunglasses that you'll notice has a slot to insert a resin frame. There's also a rainbow cloud purse with a gold plastic chain, a pair of headphones, and rainbow cloud earrings. Finally, there's a ring for you to wear. Each of these can be decorated with a resin mold piece. There's a brand new comb accessory with a pointed end that's meant to be used with the resin process. Iris has several resin molds to create her complete look. Be sure to read the included instruction manuals on how to properly and safely work with resin, particularly if this is your first time using it. There's a singular resin bottle to use on all 4 provided molds. We chose to add a bit of pearlescent glitter to each of the pieces to add an extra sparkle. For the headband piece, we need to add a thin layer of resin first and then cure it in the sun for 5 to 10 minutes. For the sunglasses frame and earrings, you'll need to fill it up to the top. The manual instructs us to use the flat end of the included comb to remove excess resin. This can get quite messy, so parents, be prepared.
Unlike previous MGA resin products, you cannot use just any UV light to cure this. It does require a specific wavelength. We believe this is the same new labeled formula in updated Miniverse products following their previous resin types recall. If you'd like details on that, we'll link some info in the description below, including a previous podcast episode where it was thoroughly discussed. To cure these, you'll have to use either actual sunlight or higher nanometer UV lamps. We've seen collectors online suggest 365 nanometer lights for quick and reliable curing of this material. We decided to go the natural UV route and just left them outside. After filling each mold with resin, we carefully placed them in the sun for 10 minutes to cure. Unfortunately, the glitter we used settled to the bottom of the molds, so we had to paint over some of the pieces. After curing, we need to sand down the resin pieces to remove any bumps or sharp edges. Iris does come with a sandpaper sheet for this. We had a hard time getting ideal results with some of the more intricate molds like the stars, and the tips of those seemed prone to breaking off. I feel like younger kids would have a hard time with this process. Next, you can add the pieces to their respective accessories, and the results were overall not ideal. The only one that turned out pretty nice was the ring. That one was also by far the easiest to sand with its simple shape. We had a very tough time getting the glasses to fit into the frames. Our first attempt broke. You'll want to be very cautious removing that thin centerpiece from the mold. And honestly, it doesn't look ideal. More on that later. The headphones I think could have been really fun in theory, but that sculpt was also hard to keep in place, and this headband is very hard to comfortably position around Iris's buns. The earrings and bag turned out all right, though the latter rainbow piece was once again a bit of a challenging fit and would be really tough to sand down with precision without potentially ruining some of the sculpting detail. We are sad to say this doll does not come with a display stand, so any stands you see used in this video were our own. That covers it all, so let's jump into final thoughts. Play plenty to discuss.
It's interesting to see the progression of the Rainbow High brand over the past year or so. I would think it would have been very hard for collectors to imagine the brand focusing on interactive play and craft in all their releases in 2024. Rainbow High's gorgeous face sculpts and makeup palettes do most of the heavy lifting here. We are introduced to this line's interactive play, which is Resin. MJ has found a lot of success in resin craft in their Miniverse line. I own quite a few of these and continue to look forward to each new line that comes out. But where Resin is a huge win in Miniverse for MJA, the resin play here with Rainbow High falls flat. I think collectors are drawn to Miniverse's realistic resin items that can be used with their 1/6 scale toys. Here, they're used as clunky, uninspired accessories. It's messy and makes the dolls even more kiddish. I wouldn't expect the suggested 8-year-old child to be able to successfully make these pieces on the first try. The resin bottle only gives you just enough to make these accessories just once. Personally, I did not enjoy this process at all. Despite the suggested age being raised, the look of this line feels even more juvenile. Iris is a gorgeous doll that reminds me of earlier Rainbow High releases, but it's bittersweet. The lack of wrist and thigh articulation is still an issue that I hope the brand addresses soon, which is even more compounded by the removal of a display stand. These dolls do not stand on their own well. Their big head and hair make them pretty top-heavy. But hey, we got a brand new hair comb, right? Despite all my complaints, I still have a lot of love for Rainbow High. I still long for the return of what got me interested in the brand in the first place. I love the articulated bodies that were so expressive, the high fashion focused outfits and accessories, and the brand's thoughtfulness and openness to collectors' feedback. 2025 is a brand new year, and I hope that MJ has heard all of our outcries online for the return of the heyday of the brand, and that we will see some changes this year.
So here we are again, back at the gates of Rainbow World, wondering if there's anything for longtime adult collector fans to enjoy. Based on initial responses we've been seeing online, Iris has definitely received a warmer reaction from the fanbase than many other recent releases. It is nice to see another new character with no glitter globe legs or other body sculpt gimmicks, though like all the other soft Reboot dolls, she does not have the brand's previous wrist or upper thigh articulation, which, as we've said many times, still feels like a significant setback. However, as I mentioned, this doll's face is stunning. That eyeshadow and those lips on this skin tone is so beautiful, so I can see why this one is piquing more folks' interest. Although it does seem like a different material than usual, it's still really nice to see thick, curly hair on a Rainbow High doll. We've been asking for more variation in hair textures for a very long time. I will say the darker rainbow color palette with such an emphasis on primary colors in her hair leans a little clownish from my view. I am curious how she would have looked in different rainbow hues that maybe leaned cooler or more pastel. Is Iris a soft Reboot win? Well, that's a loaded question. It depends on what you value most in your Rainbow High dolls. In addition to her lovely face, Iris has a pretty cute and fashionable outfit, albeit not many layers, but it is nice considering other dolls in this line have some plastic sculpted clothing pieces, which is not something I tend to be a fan of outside of budget line dolls. Her resin activity, I have to say, fell very flat for me. The molds were difficult to work with, especially the more detailed sculpts. They kept breaking at the edges, not setting properly, and in some cases it felt really difficult to get everything just the right shape and sanded grit to fit perfectly in the accessory pieces. It feels like unless you're already very familiar and comfortable with various types of resin play, this would be a very messy and frustrating activity. Aesthetically, I also just don't think they look great. The glasses in particular look like an awkwardly oversized pair of goggles that don't sit on her face well. This brand continues to seem like it's trying to court its older and younger fan bases at the same time, but I'd say putting some distance between the two may actually fare better. Beautiful fashion dolls with fabric clothes and sticky resin gimmick accessories don't need to come in the same package, in my opinion. opinion. If anything, this activity could have been sold completely separately, maybe alongside a simpler doll whose fabric clothes and rooted hair wouldn't be at risk of getting ruined by resin. Iris as a standalone doll and character does seem like a step in the right direction, and her face is sure to catch your eye on the shelf. I do think she'd make a great rebody doll for older collectors, but the remainder of her accessories and functionality are a very mixed bag. So what are your thoughts on Iris and the Creative Crystals line? Definitely let us know in the comments below. Our full Rainbow High playlist will be linked on screen here. Make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Let us know what you want to see reviewed next, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.